Hey Leo, welcome to January 2020. We're here, we made it. I'm using my Mystic Mondays tarot deck. I got it at Urban Outfitters, so clearly lots of magic here in this deck. It's also available at Spencer's Gifts. So, sometimes you find magic in the most unlikely of corporate places. Don't forget that. Leo, I'm pulling stuff for you, like the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and Judgment in reverse, so I can show you them while I shuffle. With these two energies coming up for you, let's think, or not think, but feel, right? That's what this is. Feeling death. Big energy. And we got Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck, so, a little intensity coming up for you. But we'll dive in. Obviously, death, an ending, and judgment. Whoa. Alright. Oh, yeah. Shit. Leo, what the fuck? God damn it, Leo. Okay. Alright. Ten of Cups in reverse. So, let me recap. We got death. We got Judgment in reverse. We got Five of Pentacles in reverse. We got Queen of Pentacles in reverse. We have this Knight of Cups guy. We have this Two of Swords in reverse. We have the Eight of Cups. And we have the Ten of Cups in reverse. So I'd kind of like to start with what feels obvious and then connect the dots from there. So what feels obvious is death. I mean, pretty big energy here. And we have also the Eight of Cups. So this really feels like something has ended or is ending. You're moving on from something that hasn't been working. Quite often we find ourselves in these situations. But what's really coming up for me, in a weird way, is like, this is part of your path for a reason. You're going through this, basically what is a transformation, because it's part of your life's work. So I don't know that it's like that you're feeling grief per se, but it feels kind of like you are being molded by these circumstances surrounding death and the Eight of Cups. So a crazy example would be legitimately leaving your job that you've had for like 5 years. But the crazy thing maybe would be leaving your job that you've been in for 5 years right before you're about to get the promotion. And you do these things because it's like the very fact that something good was going to happen for you. As Ten of Cups in reverse, it's like the very fact that like things were going to get quote unquote better, and you realized like you were not really feeling this Ten of Cups energy actually. Like on the surface level, yes, it looks like the Ten of Cups, but in your feelings, in your heart, in like what was true for you on a deeper level, you were like, I'm still unhappy, I'm still not where I want to be, this isn't me, it's like the thing that's dying is the like illusion you've been playing. It's like the part you've been playing. And you're such a good actor, Leo, because you're a Leo. That's like kind of your job. You're the performer of the zodiac. So you've been performing in this just kind of role I feel that is like, just, it's like you want to take off the mask. It's too much to like hide anymore, and to know that you're in this kind of place or circumstance or psychological, emotional situation that is just never really going to pay off. You're leaving it behind, or you're letting it go. Whatever indecision you had about whether you should stay or go in the situation is dissipating. It's just all becoming very abundantly clear, like what you gotta do, what your next move is. And it's so cliche, but it's like kind of like the not knowing what you want is just as important as knowing what you do want. And you're like, I definitely don't want this. This isn't me. And it doesn't have to be a job. It doesn't have to be a relationship. And in fact, I'm inclined to say that it's not a relationship, only because we got the Knight of Cups. And to me, he feels like a love energy or a supportive kind of emotional person to lean on, who's got your back. And yeah, I think you're being pushed into taking some risks, because maybe you've been like feeling like you need to be in this shitty job. I keep saying job. That's what it feels like to me. Yeah. I mean, it feels like you've been acting out of kind of this scarcity mindset, or kind of like trying to play it safe and trying to like find belonging. But again, it's like you're recognizing like you never really belonged here. There's something more for you. You have to like let this go and be done with it. Yeah. But you do have support, for sure. You do. And with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like this is just you, yeah, like, I guess what I want to say is just, I'm going to put that to the side for a minute, and maybe just collect more cards and kind of process your message. Too many, but we got the Fool, and I'll take that. And we got the Moon at the bottom of the deck now. Because, like, so when I talked about that Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck and the Moon at the bottom of the deck now, like, what does the bottom of the deck even mean? It just kind of means, like, that's what our foundation is kind of lying on. And it might not be our present energy, but it's like those moments led us to here. So Ten of Swords kind of moments led us to here. The Moon kind of moments led us to here. And what is the Ten of Swords and what is the Moon? Those are like kind of the illusions and the pain that we get caught in with those illusions. And really kind of trying to keep up, again, that facade. A lot of this has to do with a facade. And I was talking about earlier, you being molded by this. So it feels like whatever experience you've had playing this part that wasn't right for you, it's all really serving your greatest good of finding and having been prepared for the new opportunity that is arising and that you're actively moving towards with this Eight of Cups. Realizing that you were staying and kind of caught in this pattern of trying to belong where you don't really belong, and realizing and recognizing, I don't need to belong. I don't have to like fit my square peg into the round hole type thing, or vice versa. Recognizing no amount of staying and trying to make it work is going to make me actually happy. I'm never going to be happy on this path. And so it's like you're going into the new path with this abandon. The indecision is gone, as I said already. And so again, a lot of this did feel like work just because we have Pentacles. and pentacles are like what you're creating in the world, what you're building, kind of your legacy. And with the Queen in reverse, it just feels like your legacy has been a little bit tripped up on preconceived notions of who you thought you were. But now that that's dying, you're kind of more free here. Free to move on. Because, like, I follow a tarot reader named Brandon Alter. Check him out. He was talking about how death gets you unstuck. I love that idea. He said death unsticks what's been stuck in us. So, I think that's what's happening for you. And Knight of Cups, I mean, yeah, I just feel like you have emotional support. That's all that needs to be. You're not alone. And maybe it's in fact having conversations with this person that kind of gives you the courage and confidence to really take this leap of faith and to let go of this old identity of yours. And then we got this Judgment in reverse. So, Judgment to me always feels kind of like facing up to ourselves. Like, I mean, honestly, look, this is technically a mirror. And, I think it's a mirror. Granted, it's a mirror in outer space with, like, another mirror over here. So, I think this is, like, kind of like It's a Wonderful Life vibes, or Defending Your Life if you've seen that. But it's kind of like seeing the impact we've had. Kind of evaluating our actions and our behavior. And trying to decide, like, is this who I want to be still? Or maybe giving ourselves credit where we didn't give ourselves credit down the line before, where we're like, oh, I've been putting up with a lot of bullshit, and I've been doing a great job of it, and I've been really showing up for people, and I've been really trying my best, in spite of, like, circumstances I might have. So with it being in reverse, though, it honestly just feels like, a little bit of maybe being harsh with yourself in ways you don't need to be. That your self-assessment process should also incorporate some element of compassion and forgiveness for yourself first and foremost, because I think without that, it just makes it all harder for no reason. You're already changing, you're already moving forward, you're already letting go. You're already kind of seeing things in a new light, so let the process happen. And let the process happen, this change, this death, this new beginning. Like, let this sort of be something that you don't need to rush into. And let it be something that you process. Because we got the Princess of Pentacles, or Swords. Sorry, Pentacles are on my mind, I guess. The Swords, mental energy. This feels like you kind of like thinking about things a little bit differently, or kind of like, it's almost like whatever emotional baggage kept you stuck in the past, you're cutting through all of that emotions with some kind of like logical clarity that is ultimately bringing upon this. And these are big shifts. And with the Swords too, again, it might be a little bit of that harshness in this judgment process of like, it almost, what I'm getting is like, being like, wow, I can't believe I stayed there for so long. I should have left sooner. And it's like, now, hold on. Your process took the time it took. Same with this Chariot and this Fool. Like, trust your process. Trust your unfolding. Trust that, like, you stayed where you needed to stay for as long as that was important, and you only left when it was time to leave. So, and that the new beginnings will unfold in their own due time, and that you can take your time to process more gently what's going on with you psychologically. that these are big shifts that you're making at the beginning of the year. And yes, you're moving into a truer calling, a truer version of yourself that, like, as I was saying before, is like less having the mask, less performative, less trying to be someone, and more authentic and more like soft, more genuine, more kind of like in a flow, not trying so hard. But again, it feels a little bit like there's just pressure you're putting on yourself, or judgment about the judgment. And it's like the judgment is happening anyway. The forward movement is happening anyway at its own pace. Like, just thinking about death, really? Oh, where is death? Death's hiding. Thinking about death is like not something that you control or do. And this is, of course, metaphorical death. This is not like, no. But, you know, to like, I know someone very, very, very close to them died. And they were like, I grieved for like 5 years, and like, I can't believe it took me that long to grieve. And I was like, well, your grieving process happens at its own pace. It's like healing. You have to feel your feelings to heal. And you can judge yourself for it being 5 years, but that was the time it took. And there's no reason to add judgment and guilt and shame on the amount of time and the process and the how it happened, on top of the fact that you had to go through it. And I'm not saying everything's going to be that intense for you, but I am just asking for this gentleness with you and yourself. I think it's very important. It's sort of that silly thing. People are like, oh, if you broke an arm, you wouldn't be like, oh my god, my arm's not healing fast enough. Like, you wouldn't be angry at your arm for taking the amount of time it needs to like build a new bone. It's the same with like whatever, this letting go of the old identity and the stepping into the new. That's what I'm saying. Death is its own thing. It's like, find reverence and honor for this, for the intensity of it that might be there. And again, even if this is just leaving a job or a career path that you thought you were on and stepping into a new one, while it's exciting, there is still a lot of processing to happen and a lot of like steps through the change. So this whole reading is just saying January is a big shift, but there is, and I don't feel like it's particularly sad because I don't have like actual cards relating to grief. I'm more talking about like letting change and transformation tell you what it wants from you, rather than you trying to dictate it. If that makes sense. It's all happening at once too, so there's a lot going on. Mostly positive, great change, but even positive, great change can be scary because it's the unknown. And we're taught to be afraid of the unknown, even when the unknown is bringing us to our best lives, which it certainly is. So, I love you. And again, I don't personally think this is like, I gave very intense examples of like close loved ones dying, but I don't think this is that. It's more, again, like a self-identification part of yourself that's going. And that can still be a lot, though. Kind of like, it's almost like, you know, when you like told yourself like, I'll never be a person who likes sports, and like suddenly you find yourself like falling in love with sports. I don't know why I always bring up sports, because I like know nothing about sports, but that's exactly what I mean. Imagine if I discovered I like sports. I would be horrified. I'd be like, who am I? I don't recognize myself. This is scary. how did I get brainwashed into liking sports? Is something wrong? It's kind of like that. It's like finding, becoming parts of yourself that you are just like, finding your true self. I guess it's just like kind of like the illusion of the part you were playing was ran so deep that kind of breaking out of it is disorienting, and you're not really grounded in yourself yet. So be patient as you get to relearn who you are and accept yourself for all of you. Okay, that's your reading. I love you, and like and subscribe, all that. I offer personal readings. I'll be back somehow, some way. And I love you, and I'll see you again. Bye.